Today, we're diving into a concept that might sound a little abrupt, maybe even a bit rude, but trust me, it's packed with liberating truth. We're talking about the idea that when it comes to making a change, pursuing a goal, or tackling a challenge, often the biggest hurdle isn't the lack of knowledge, but the endless search for the perfect how. Today's episode is titled, There is no how, just do something. How many times have you found yourself stuck? You have a desire, a goal, maybe even a burning passion. You want to start that business, ask that person out, learn that new skill, or finally tackle that nagging problem. But then, the questions flood in. How do I even begin? What's the best strategy? What if I mess it all up? We get so caught up in finding the perfect how that we often never even take the first step. This incessant need for a detailed roadmap before we even turn on the ignition is something Mark Manson touches upon in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a FCK. He argues that we often overthink things, getting trapped in our heads and creating unnecessary obstacles. Think about it. You want to get in shape, so you spend weeks researching the best workout routines and diets, only to feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information and never actually make it to the gym. You want to start a creative project, but you're paralyzed by the thought of not knowing the right way to approach it, so it just stays an idea in your head. This endless quest for the how can be a form of avoidance, a way to feel like we're making progress without actually facing the potential discomfort of taking action and possibly failing. Manson puts it pretty bluntly, do or do not. There is no how. You are already choosing in every moment of every day what to give a fuck about, so change is as simple as choosing to give a fuck about something else. So, why do we get so hung up on the how? There are a few psychological reasons at play here. Fear of failure. This is a big one. We often delay starting something because we're terrified of not doing it right, or of the project not succeeding. The perfect how becomes a shield against this fear. If we can just find the flawless plan, we believe we can guarantee success and avoid the sting of failure. But as Manson points out, failure is the way forward. He even talks about Bukowski, whose success came after decades of rejection. Failure is part of the process. Perfectionism. Similar to the fear of failure, perfectionism makes us believe that we need to have all the answers and a flawless plan before we can even begin. We set impossibly high standards and then get discouraged when we don't know exactly how to meet them right away. This can lead to procrastination and inaction. Manson suggests that we're often wrong about everything, but so am I, implying that we learn and improve through action and by acknowledging our initial imperfections. The feedback loop from hell. Manson describes this as getting anxious about being anxious or angry about being angry. The same can apply to the how. We might feel inadequate because we don't know how to do something, which then makes us feel even more inadequate for not knowing, leading to a cycle of negative self-talk and further inaction. By simply doing something, even if it's small and imperfect, we can break this negative loop. Entitlement. Sometimes, our obsession with the how stems from a subtle sense of entitlement. We might feel like we deserve to know the perfect path, the easy route to success, without having to struggle or figure things out along the way. Manson challenges this, stating, "You are not special, and that real fulfillment comes from choosing and managing our struggles." Sound of a gentle chime. So, how do we break free from this how paralysis and actually start doing things? Here are some actionable insights, inspired by Manson's counterintuitive approach. Embrace the do something principle. This is the core of it. If you lack the motivation or feel overwhelmed by the how, just do something, anything, that's even remotely related to your goal. Want to write a book? Write one sentence. Want to start a business? Send one email. As Manson says, action isn't just the effect of motivation, it's also the cause of it. Small actions can create momentum and inspire further steps. Focus on the first step. Don't worry about the entire staircase. Just focus on the first step. What's the absolute smallest, easiest thing you can do right now to move towards your goal? Break it down into ridiculously manageable chunks. Accept imperfection. Let go of the need for everything to be perfect from the start. Your first attempt might be messy, flawed, even a complete disaster. That's okay. Failure is the way forward. Every mistake is a learning opportunity that brings you closer to where you want to be. Choose your struggle. Remember that happiness comes from solving problems. The how is often part of that problem-solving process. Instead of trying to avoid all struggle by finding the perfect how, ask yourself, what pain do you want to sustain? What are you willing to figure out and work through? Reframe not knowing. Manson suggests that you don't know anything. Even when you think you do, you really don't know what the fuck you're doing. So really, what is there to lose? This can be surprisingly liberating. If you accept that you don't have all the answers, the pressure to find the perfect how diminishes, and you become more open to experimenting and learning as you go. Don't give a FCK about not knowing. Initially, this doesn't mean being irresponsible. It means not letting the initial lack of clarity paralyze you. Give a fuck about the outcome, about your values, but don't give too many fucks about the initial uncertainty of the how. Learn by doing. Often, the how reveals itself through the act of doing. You learn what works and what doesn't as you take action. It's like trying to learn to ride a bike by reading a manual versus actually getting on and pedaling, and probably wobbling a bit. The truth is, the magic often happens in the messy middle, in the trial and error, in the unexpected discoveries we make along the way. By waiting for the perfect how, we risk missing out on the journey itself and potentially never reaching our destination. So, next time you find yourself stuck on the how, remember Manson's straightforward advice. Just do something. Take that small step, embrace the uncertainty, and trust that the how will become clearer as you move forward. That's all for today's episode. If you found this helpful, please share it with someone who might be overthinking their next move. We'll be back next week with more counterintuitive wisdom. Until then, go out there and just do something.